Welcome to the fourth round of Swiss, game number 1, once more brought to you by Netrunners.co.uk, again taken from the Store Championships at Worcester. I myself there on the right playing Chaos Theory once more, and we have Philip from Oxford on the left playing Weyland. So this is one of those games that you feel bad about posting up, and the only reason I'm doing so is probably more for completion's sake than anything else. This is certainly not a bad reflection on anyone's play in any way, shape or form, but nevertheless it is one of those games, as you can probably see from the time index as you clicked on this game, that isn't going to be necessarily the most memorable or sterling match of Netrunner history. Nevertheless, for the sake of completion and posting up all the rounds of Swiss that I played, this is the game in all its glory. The cards seem to be a little bit out of focus here, which I apologise for. Obviously didn't set the autofocus right on my phone, but hopefully, nevertheless, you'll see a marvellous game. So as you can see, I didn't take a mulligan, my opponent did. I've got quite an aggressive hand there. I've got a Sneak Door Beta, a Maker's Eye, a Test Run I think as well, so lots and lots of ways of getting aggressive very early on. I couldn't quite recall whether this deck was tag or bag. I didn't know from anyone else, but obviously against Weyland you cannot afford to take any kinds of chances, and you have to play as if every deck has 3 copies of Scorched and at least 1 or 2 copies of Sea Source as well. So you have to be cautious. Now we look at that hand, and you quickly realise that that is not a hand you want to mulligan into. Oh my word! And he just drew up into an Archer. So that's ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, that's 4 agendas, if not 5, and an Archer there going on to R&D. None of which, oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, 4 agendas, a Beanstalk, and an Archer. There he drew up into. He's leaving HQ open. Doesn't have a choice, doesn't have another piece of ice. That is not what you want to see. So I'm going to hedge fund, first click. I think you're already getting a bit of a feel and a flavour for how this game may go. I'm going to run and score the profiteering he put face down. And that already screams to me that he probably has extra agendas in HQ, as it would for anyone really. If you're forced to play your first, play agenda out unprotected, you probably don't have enough ice, and you also probably have agendas in hand. Okay, so I tell a lie, there's a hedge fund, so only 2 more agendas left there in hand. And I'm going to run again on HQ and score the geothermal fracking. So this is the kind of point where you're hoping and praying that they don't have a punitive counter-strike, though I still have 4 cards in hand, so I'm not overly concerned. And if I deny him scoring an agenda, then he's got problems with the Archer, of course, as well. So he's going to hedge fund, ice, and install. I'm not sure what ice there it was he drew up, but we are about to find out. Sat on plenty of credits already. First click I'm going to draw and see a Magnum Opus. But again, 3 points in the first turn, and you're already incredibly up against it. There's no denying it. HQ's still wide open. We can only presume that's an agenda there that he's put down. So I'm going to draw again, see a Diesel. I'm going to play the Magnum Opus and take 4 credits. Pass the turn over to him. Obviously he has no other card. Yes, that's the only card he had in hand there, was the one he drew up. He is going to score a Veterans, whatchamacallit, I can't quite remember the name, but no bad pub to remove as such, so all it is a blank 3-1, but it does switch on his Archer. So that is that's important. So I ran HQ and saw his Jackson Howard, which I trashed. So now the only target I have is R&D, and his Archer is switched on, and the only thing that I have program-wise, of course, is the Magnum Opus. I'm just going to take 6 credits. I'm going to wait for him to draw up agendas in HQ, because there's no immediate rush here. 3 agenda points to 1, he's got nothing else in hand. Obviously trashing the Jackson Howard at that stage was very important, because I didn't want him to solidify his game. You could tell he had a bad start. And Jackson Howard probably would have fixed that. It would have allowed him to dump any agendas he would have seen, and at the same time it would have allowed him to drop for the ice he probably needed as well. So I'm going to put down the Sneak Door and Access and see that. I'm going to trash it so that I've got a guaranteed hit of the agenda that he has there in hand. Another geothermal fracking. Click through, and I have 1 click left. He has no cards left in HQ, so not a huge amount of point going anywhere else. I'm just going to take 2 credits. He draws, and I think he sees another 3 agendas there. Certainly the Atlas there he just drew, and you could see from his body language that that's not great. He installs into the remote, And yeah, he's in trouble there. He knows it. He didn't see any ice. I'm going to diesel up. First click. So I've already got the route through into HQ with Sneak Door. I'm going to test run 3 and probably go and find a FEM to bypass that piece of ice, protecting that remote. And we already know what's in there, ladies and gentlemen. So it's this happens. You know, I mean, he's seen probably what, about 8, 9 of his agendas in the opening 2-3 turns. The Jackson Howard went. He had no means to protect against it or try and deflect it. I run, I score the Atlas, win the game. And I mean, you can see from his body language, bless him. It's what do you do? There's nothing you can do about that. When those things occur, they do. That's it.